Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back or welcome to the Authentically Blue podcast. I am your host, Carlson. In today's episode, we are discussing mindsets. But before we dive in, I will not be doing a segment portion of the podcast for this episode because, I kind of just want to discuss the topic and keep it moving, but maybe I'll pick it up for next week's episode. Also, I am currently recording this episode in my aunt's house, and her living room is beautifully decorated. I feel amazing being here and recording this. Hopefully one day in the future, I will have my own recording place that I can jazz up and make as beautiful as this place is. But for now, this will do. I'm spending a few days at her place. We had to go to a wedding together and it was fun. Also, for the next 2 episodes, I will not be recording it in my usual place at home. I'm going to be at my grandmother's place, and I do really want to record an episode in my mom's car for the acoustics and see how that all pans out. Anyway, the time is 22:22 while I record this on the 20th of December 2022. Let's dive into the episode, shall we? What is a mindset? I personally believe a mindset is a mental attitude. It's how we see our life through our own unique lens. Our mindset is also the assumptions, the expectations, the beliefs that we hold about ourselves and the situations happening in our life around us. All these things shape and define our life and who we are. I also believe a mindset is how you make sense of the world and yourself. Kind of links to the point I literally just made. But yeah, mindsets help us determine our behavior and our outlook and our mental attitude. There are 2 types of mindsets that are really important. There is a growth mindset and there's fixed mindset. Growth mindset is the belief that your abilities can be developed through hard work and dedication. It's the idea that our brain and talent are just the starting point. By putting in the hard work, it makes all the difference. A fixed mindset, on the other hand, is believing that your talent or certain traits you acquire as a human, for example, your intelligence, is fixed and cannot be changed. And fixed mindset is not the way to go. If you do have a fixed mindset, how can you change this? You can change your mindset by learning and consciously choosing to believe that your characteristics are not predetermined and that you can continue to grow over time. This is vital. You can also question your self-defeating thoughts, and this will allow you to create new narratives that are more self-serving. And if you do develop a growth mindset, there's so many benefits, which I'm going to touch on later onwards. But by developing a growth mindset, setbacks that you face in your life can become learning opportunities, and that is always another chance to improve your life and be better. If you are willing to learn the technology of changing your mindset and defeating your distorted thoughts, a significantly happier life, and honestly, that's what we're all striving for in this life. How does our mindset affect our life? Your mindset sets the foundation of the way you experience life. 2 people can experience the exact same event, and each person's brain will interpret the happenings and react differently. This in turn causes different consequences to follow in these people's lives. This happens largely because each of us has a distinct past experience that impact how our physical brains function and form belief systems. These things influence how your brain makes sense of the world, and it's going to be different for each of us. We all have experiences in life and grow up a certain way. The trick is to be open-minded and believe you can actually make a difference in your life by being open-minded and willing to change your mindset. By being willing and open-minded, you are acquiring certain elements, you could say, to having a growth mindset. And this will have a huge impact on your life and how you live your life. By trying different things and seeing what works for you and what doesn't, that's another way of changing your mindset. There's no shame in letting go of your mindset before or beating yourself up because you acted a certain way for a period of time in your life, whether that's long or short. As I always say, give yourself grace. It's never too late to learn or try something new. Another element of the growth mindset is self-talk, which is similar to affirmations, but how you speak to yourself matters always. You live with you forever. Literally for the rest of your life, you're stuck with you. You're not going to be with your siblings, your friends, family members, your partner. We all go through this life alone, and we're going to die alone. I know that's morbid, but my point is, change the way you speak to yourself. When you're defeated, when you're in a difficult situation, when life gets tricky, give yourself grace. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself like how you treat a best friend. An example of how you could change the way you speak to yourself, for instance, could be, I will never be good at this. Instead of saying that, you could say, I can work hard to get better at something. One of my favorite quotes is, practice makes progress. It's not practice makes perfect. It's very hard and difficult and rare to find someone who's perfect at something. We all do our best. All the professionals, all the people who are amazing at whatever it is they're good at, who've been to the Olympics, who are at the top of their game, all just have practice. There's no perfection. Literally, there's no such thing as perfection. That's a side note, but that quote is by Les Brown. And when I first heard it, I was like, this is amazing. You're going to work hard to get better at something, because we tend to want to be perfect at the first try, and that's impossible, even to someone who's done it for a very long time. Another example is, you, instead of saying, I have failed, you could say, I just started. Success comes with patience. Self-doubt kills dreams. I am ready to ask for help. Instead of saying, I can't, you could say, how do I learn how to do this? Instead of saying it's too hard, you could say it's a challenge and I can't wait to conquer this challenge. Instead of saying I'm too old, you could say it's never too late, and it really never is too late to try something. Your brain and your beliefs primarily create your mindset. Research has shown that your mindset plays a significant role in determining your life outcomes. Unknowingly, your mindset can also contribute to depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues. I got this from an article which I will link down below in case you're interested in that. And with all these health issues, we can end up missing opportunities in life and end up having a limited life. There's so many benefits to changing your mindset. Firstly, your health improves significantly, both mental and physically, because you know your goals and you go for it. Having a good mindset also reduces stress in our life and all the negative-ish and stuff that's happening. Having a growth mindset allows us to embrace failure and we learn from it. We are all bound to fail. Failure is a part of the human existence. Another benefit of having a growth mindset is believing effort matters, and this has a huge impact on our life and determines where we end up. Our success literally depends on this, because the more effort you put in, the more rewards you get. And yes, it depends on the context, but that generally applies in almost all aspects of life. The last benefit I have here is it helps you overcome life's challenges, and our life is full of challenges. There's no escaping it. Now that I have talked a little bit about mindsets, I am going to share habits you can implement to improve your mindset and tips and tricks too. I think I'm going to talk about 12 of them. Number 1, define your own success. By defining your success, you are limiting your thinking based on other people's opinions, their expectations, their feedback. Accept your own. You are the author of your own life. I was going to say you are the writer of your own life, but yes, you are the author and the writer of your own life. You get to decide what success means to you. Look at me, for instance. No one in my family has a podcast. None of my friends have a podcast. No one in my circle has a podcast. But the fact that I started a podcast is a success to me. So define your own success and put in the work to get there. Number 2, practice positive self-talk. Oh my goodness, this one I can shout from the rooftops. Treat yourself like how you treat your best friend or a friend or someone you love. You would treat this person with kindness. even if they fuck up, excuse my French, you would care for them and be kind to them and acknowledge them and give them grace. You deserve the exact same treatment too. Number 3, find your unique you. What makes you happy in all aspects of your life? We are on this earth for a very short amount of time, and we don't even know how long we're going to be here for. So do you, babe. If you want to go climb a mountain, go climb a mountain. I actually don't know, I just thought of a mountain. It's because this is very random, but I was having a conversation with my brother and he brought up something to do with mountains. So yeah, that's not a goal of mine, but if you do want to climb a mountain, go climb a mountain. And if it brings you joy and happiness, do that thing. For me personally, I would say something I realized I enjoyed doing, which I didn't know of before, is I took my brother's bike, and he has a huge bike. He's like taller than me, even though he's younger than me. I took his bike and cycled around the estate I live in for a while, like 30 minutes I would say. Put my headphones on, listened to amazing music, and cycled for 30 minutes straight. And the sun was shining, and I could feel the sun on my skin. The breeze was breathtaking, and the feeling was really liberating. I guess that's why I enjoyed it, but I plan on doing that more because it's something I enjoy, and I didn't realize I do enjoy. It felt like heaven. You should definitely find something that you enjoy doing, even if it takes time. Give yourself grace. You will figure it out. Plus, the more you figure out what works for you, the happier and more confident you are while improving your mindset, which is what we want. Number 4 I have is becoming a better communicator. We all know the famous saying, communication is key. We hear it all the time. But aspects you could focus on specifically to improve your mindset, I would say, is be brave. Ask open-ended questions when you're having conversations with people. Have crucial conversations that you need to have. Things that may affect you a certain way, or if you're nervous about asking a question, or if something's occupying your mind, have the courage to find a way to sort it, whether it's hearing someone's opinion, going straight to someone and kind of confronting them. Do what you gotta do. Also, another aspect of communication I would say is don't overthink anything until you have the full understanding, because we really do be going crazy by not hearing the full point of view, and you kind of feel silly afterwards. Number 5, surround yourself with good people. Have you heard the famous saying, show me your friends and I will show you your future? That is by Dan Penner, by the way. You can learn new behaviors to help you improve your own mindset by surrounding yourself with positive and optimistic people. Number 6, focus on your health. Health is wealth, y'all. I talked about this in a previous episode because I was unwell for a little bit. But it is the foundation of a good life, and it impacts your capabilities of living, literally. Your energy levels go up by having nourishing food and exercising regularly. Plus, you will be more confident physically, mentally, and that's what we want around here, to be confident human beings. Number 7 is accountability. Taking accountability for your actions helps you develop a growth mindset. And a growth mindset is when you are always looking for ways to improve your life. You're becoming more self-aware and looking for lessons or opportunities in any situation. And don't get me wrong, of course not all situations that are negative can be beneficial, but it's a really good way of looking at things and dealing with negative stuff in our life. Number 8, get out of your comfort zone. Funnily enough, I was having a conversation with my aunt today who's doing her first solo trip. I am so proud of you if you're listening to this episode right now. But yeah, she's traveling alone for the first time ever. She's only ever done trips with people, and she's traveled to so many amazing places. And solo travel is something I want to do. I haven't traveled the world as much. I am young, but I am headed there once. It's a dream of mine to travel to different places around the world, but she was slightly nervous about traveling alone, and I told her, you need to feel the fear and do it anyway. And she was like, oh my goodness, look at you. I used to motivate you all the time. And I was like, yes, feel the fear and do it, guys. When you feel comfortable and you feel safe, you're not growing. Growth happens out of our comfort zone. Extending yourself and overcoming your fears can help you grow and know that you're capable of achieving anything that you put your mind to. So, find that thing you fear and do it scared and see how much you're capable of. Trust me, it's one of the best feelings in the entire world. Number 9, I would say journaling in a more brain dump manner. So you could either journal in the morning or at night or even in the middle of the day. Do what suits you, find what works. And when I say brain dump, I mean literally just writing down with no structure how you're feeling. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling nervous? Are you excited about something? By brain dumping, I don't know if that's grammatically correct, but by writing a brain dump, I think that's better. By writing a brain dump, you clear your head by getting all the emotions out and kind of seeing where you are at in that moment of time. And it makes a huge difference. Number 10, reviewing your goals. This allows you to prioritize your tasks. Number 11, this is more of a productivity one, but it is time blocking. Time block your schedule. By planning out your day, preferably the night before, this saves you a lot of time and energy. For those of you who don't know what time blocking is, it is creating a list of the things you need to do. For instance, I need to edit this podcast tomorrow and upload it. So I'm going to put on my time block from 9 to 10, edit the podcast, 12 to 12:20, upload the podcast and share it on my social medias. That is time blocking. And by doing this for all the major tasks and mini tasks you have to do for the day, it saves you a lot of time and energy. Plus, you really feel like a productive boss when you do this, and you will be. The last one, number 12, is a mindset check-in. Once in a while throughout the day, bring awareness to where your head is at. This allows you to focus and bring awareness on what's going on in your head. It brings you back to the moment and allows you to refocus and put your energy where you need it to be. I said earlier onwards I'm not going to do a segment portion of the podcast, but there's a quote I read about mindsets, and I have to say it. It's kind of like my word to the wise for this episode. Okay, the quote reads, "Everything happens on a mental level before it manifests on the physical level. This is why it's so important to get your mindset right. You have to believe in yourself no matter what the external circumstances are. Strengthen your vision and have hope that things can get better." That is it for this week's episode, my beautiful people. I hope you enjoyed this topic. If you are interested in this, please do more research and figure out what methods work for you and implement this in your life. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment to review the podcast on Apple Podcasts. The link is down below. Why Apple Podcasts, you may wonder? I hear Apple Podcasts is the holy grail of podcasts, and it allows other people to discover the show and benefit. Thank you for tuning in, and have a beautiful week.